hello everybody. Welcome to Sunday Night Ghost Stories Extra, because we are on a Friday. Oh my goodness me, end of the working week. Although I shall still be working tomorrow, because once I'm in the zone work-wise, I tend not to give it up for the weekend. So anyway, so here we are in the library tonight. As you can see, we've got the fire on because it's a bit chilly, that's an understatement. What are we reading? We are still reading this excellent Haunted Places of Scotland, 2nd edition. What a brilliant book. When I get to the end, I'm going to have a look to see if they've published anything else in this series, but just absolutely top dollar. What are we drinking tonight? We've got 2 beers tonight. So we've got one of the subscription beers. This is the Elements of Beer Hops Blueprint Session IPA, which is Indian Pale Ale. Bravo. This Session IPA is only half the story. Compare Alpha with Bravo. Same beer, style, different hops. 4%. So that's I can't tell if it's called Sawmill or Blueprint Session IPA. Yeah, there you go. So there are the graphics. Like I say, these are brilliantly produced, these beers. I love all the individuality of them. The Elements of Beer Hops, just seeing where this is produced, doesn't say. Oh, it does say pregnancy warning, alcohol can cause lifelong harm to your baby. I'll take a pregnancy test after the show. What are we washing it down with? We are washing it down with the single grain Scotch from Lidl. Frankly, boys and girls, that's the stuff that carries the show on a bit. And I think we are going to top up the beer. And for the first time tonight, we are going to have a dead soldier. So run, VT.
Oh, it's jolly nice of you. Hello, dead soldier. Seen plenty of those in my time.
And on with the ghost stories. Dalhousie Castle. I think Dalhousie Castle. Dalhousie Castle. Dalhousie Castle, which is situated in many acres of parkland, woods, and river pasture, is an imposing castle and mansion with battlements and turrets. The building incorporates an ancient stronghold which was built by the Ramsays. Sir Alexander Ramsay was active in the Wars of Independence and captured Roxburgh Castle from the English. In 1342, he was starved to death in Hermitage Castle. Also see that entry. Dalhousie withstood a siege by the English in 1400, which lasted 6 months, and the family were later made Earls of Dalhousie. The Ramsays lived at the castle until about 1900, when they moved to Brechin Castle, and in 1925 the castle became a private boys' school. This was closed in 1950, and the castle is now a prestigious hotel. Dalhousie is said to be haunted by a grey lady, the ghost of Lady Catherine. She was the mistress of a Ramsay laird, possibly around the turn of the 16th century. Ramsay's wife had Catherine imprisoned in one of the turrets, where she perished from starvation. Her apparition has allegedly been seen on the stairs, in the dungeons, and along the Black Corridor. Other reported manifestations include the rustling of her gown and scratching or light tapping at doors. There was a sighting of the ghost in 2000 during building work. Another ghost is said to be that of one of the pupils from when the castle was a school. The story goes that a boy leapt from the top of the building and was killed. A third spirit is that of a dog, which died in the 1980s after also falling from the castle. its apparition has allegedly been seen running on the stairs and along the passageways. Other reported manifestations include a member of staff having her hair pulled when nobody else was present, and a guest being tapped on each shoulder several times by invisible hands. There is also a legend that when a branch falls from an old oak tree, there is also a legend that when a branch falls from an old oak tree near Dalhousie, then someone is about to die at the castle. Phone number and website address. Right. Let's have some of this. I don't know. Is it called Sawmill? Is it called Sawmill Blueprint Session IPA? So is the brewery called Sawmill? No idea. Yeah, I think it is. Look, there's the logo. That's got to be the name of the brewery. So cheers, me beers, in the magnificent Rush beer glass. Again, thank you, viewers Kirsten and Steve in the States. That's quite citrusy. Just having a look to see if it says what the ingredients are. Water, malted barley, malted wheat, hops, yeast, allergens, including gluten, shown in bold. Brewed and canned for Sawmill Brewery in the EU. I wish we were back in the EU, and we will be. Dalkeith House. Standing in acres of parkland, Dalkeith House is a striking classical mansion which incorporates some of an ancient castle. The property was held by the Douglases from about 1350. Sir James Douglas, Sir James Douglas, first Earl of Morton, and his wife Joanna, daughter of James I, are buried in the ruinous chancel of the nearby St. Nicholas Buckley Parish Church, their tomb marked by weathered stone effigies. The church can be visited, www.stnicholasbuckley.org.uk. In 1642, the lands were sold to the Scott Earls and later Dukes of Buckley. Buckley, and it remains with their descendants. The house is now used for students from Wisconsin. That's very niche. Dalkeith House is reputed to be haunted by the ghost of a woman, a green lady or grey lady, which is said to have been witnessed often in recent times. Activities such as unexplained footsteps, especially on the main staircase, mysterious noises, voices, music and laughter, doors opening by themselves, a wardrobe shaking and disgorging hangers, and other manifestations have also been reported, including sightings of moving balls of light. One story is that the ghost, or another bogle, is the spirit of a girl around 8 years old called Anna, who fell out of one of the upstairs windows. Another tale that doesn't make sense. Another tale, it should be an is there. Another tale is that the place is also haunted by her careless nursemaid. There is also an account of a student waking up to find a headless apparition sitting at the end of her bed with its head under its arm. The bogle apparently told the sleeper to get out of the room and was identified, tentatively, presumably, as the ghost of Mary, Queen of Scots. Country Park open, Easter to October, house not open, phone number and website address. Sorry, the ghost was headless, but the head could talk because it was tucked under the arm. Bit Rod Hull, that. Anyway, Dalkeith. Dalkeith House, I do declare, Dalkeith, which I think is outside Edinburgh, is where in 1957 a certain Derek William Dick was born, who later took on the name of fish. I may know something about that. Cheers, me beers. Oh, lovely. Right, we're on to the bump element now. So, Slange, this is where the show goes downhill or improves, depending on your perspective. Oh, lovely. Dalmahoy. Commanding extensive views of the surrounding countryside, Dalmahoy is a fine Georgian mansion designed in 1720 by the architect William Adam. The property was held from 1296 by the Dalmahoys, but was sold to the Dalrymples in about 1650, which is 10-7. Then went to the Douglas Earls of Morton in the middle of the 18th century. They held it for 200 years as their main seat. The mansion is now part of a hotel complex which features 2 golf courses and many other leisure facilities. Dalmahoy is said to be haunted by a white lady. Sightings of the apparition have been reported in both the corridors and in the bedrooms of the old part of the building. This is said to be a friendly ghost and is thought to be the bogle of a lady, Mary Douglas. This is said to be a friendly ghost and is thought to be the bogle of Lady Mary Douglas, daughter of the Earl of Morton, who bought the property in 1760. Her portrait hangs in the hotel. Hotel open all year. Telephone number, website. See, pictures hang. People are hanged. Anyway, I know it's my personal bugbear, but Slange, everybody. Oh, lovely. Cheers. Oh. Dalmarnock Road Bridge, Glasgow. Dalmarnock Road Bridge, a 5-span structure built in the 1890s, is one of 8 bridges which crosses the Clyde as the river runs through Glasgow, and the bridge carries the A749 into Ruther Glen. The bridge is said to be haunted by the ghost of a fellow who committed suicide here. The apparition is described as that of a man in his 30s, with cropped hair and dressed in black trousers and a dark 3/4 length coat. The ghost is said to have been witnessed many times, passers-by believing that the phantom is a real person about to jump from the bridge. It is said, however, that if the figure is closely approached, it then fades away. Sounds like my dating technique. These are beautifully short, absolutely brilliant. I've also got itchy nose. What are we up to? 15 minutes. We are a quarter of the way through the show. Cheers, me beers. And fan mail is turning up. Let's just read the fan mail. Slange. Let's just have a quick read of the fan mail. Oh my goodness me. I can't read that out. That's absolutely shocking. You should be ashamed of yourself, Vicar. Let's have to have a quick look. Right. Let's crack on, shall we? Oh, Dalmarnock Road Bridge, Glasgow. Let's just look that up, shall we? So, Dalmarnock Road Bridge. Dalmarnock Road Bridge. Sorry, I got the beer hiccups. Share screen. It appears to be, this just appears to be an advert for B&Q, quite frankly. That's the Dalmarnock Dalmarnock Road Bridge. Let's see if we can find a better picture than that. I'm sure we can. This is exciting, isn't it? Being able to do live in show pictures and things. Oh, here we go. Yeah, there we go. That's a good shot. Now this appears to be, that's not the one we're looking for. Share screen. That appears to be Dalmarnock Road Bridge as well. Yeah, that appears to be Dalmarnock Road. Anyway, let's just make sure we've got that right. History, Dalmarnock Road Bridge. No, that wasn't Dalmarnock Road Bridge. Too many arches in it for a start. Oh, do you know what? That's bizarre that there are so few images of Dalmarnock Road Bridge, and in fact, I'm desperately trying to bring one up here. No, it doesn't have kind of arches to it. So let's just see. No, that's not it. That's not it. That's it. Yeah. So Chesky. What do you do on Friday night? I don't know. I tuned in to watch Sunday Night Ghost Stories Extra, and instead it was a confused man from Dudley who was trying to show us pictures of Dalmarnock Road Bridge. That's definitely Dalmarnock Road Bridge. So that's the one we've just heard about. Interesting stuff. Oh, got some fan mail here. Let's just read the fan mail. Bear with. Bear with it. Right, let's crack on, shall we? Dalpedder. Nothing remains of a tower house at Dalpedder, a property of the McMath family. John, son of James McMath of Dalpedder, was the intended husband for Marion Carruthers of Mousewald, although Marion refused him. The poor girl ended up dead, having fallen or having been pushed from one of the turrets of Comlongan Castle. See that entry. The area near Dalpedder is said to be haunted by the apparition of a tall woman, sometimes accompanied by that of a young boy, dressed in white, and their figures have been recorded appearing by the roadside. They are said to be the ghosts of Lady Hebron and her son. Hebron is a family name with origins from near Morpeth in Northumberland in England. The story goes, turns page again. The story goes that Lady Hebron was heiress to the small estate of Dalpedder sometime during the 16th century, perhaps 1580. She was married in due course and had a son, but her husband died and she was left a widow. Their uncle, however, wanted the property, and Lady Hebron and her son disappeared. Much later, the bones of a woman and a child were found buried near the road. The lady had had her skull split. A Marion of Dalpedder is said to have been murdered by one of the Crichton lairds and to haunt Sanquhar Castle. See that entry. And the stories are obviously linked. Another ghost story involving Dalpedder has Abraham Crichton of Carco, an unpopular and ruthless landowner, dragged along the ground all the way to Dalpedder. His ghost is then said to have haunted Sanquhar Kirkyard. See that entry? Oh, I'm all for rich landlords being dragged. I shouldn't be saying that, but now what the hell? Cheers, me beers. Oh, lovely. Oops, got a sticky shot glass tonight. Words I didn't think I'd ever say at the age of 58, but there we go. Dowry House, Edinburgh. Dowry House is a fine whitewashed mansion with 2 hexagonal stair towers and dates from 1661. There is original plasterwork in one of the rooms. The Dowry House was the country house of the Cheesley family and was built by Walter Cheesley, a magistrate and merchant in Edinburgh. It was sold to the Walker family in 1812, and they held the property until 1870, when they gifted it to the Episcopal Church for use as a teacher training college. The building was renovated in the 1960s and was used as an old person's day centre until 2002, but it has since been divided into several apartments. Kelsaprees. The house and area were said to be haunted by a ghost, Johnny One Arm. John Chisley was executed in 1689 for shooting and killing Sir George Lockhart of Carnwath, after Lockhart, Lord President of the Court of Session, found against Cheesley in a divorce settlement. There were 11 children to support. Cheesley was tortured to reveal any accomplices and was mutilated by having his pistol arm severed before being hanged. I think his body, not just his arm, but his dead body was removed from the gallows before it could be buried. His one-armed apparition is then said to have been witnessed often and heard crying and screaming. In 1965, the remains of a one-armed man are said to have been found under a hearth or in a nearby cottage, and his ghost has reputedly not been seen since his remains were buried. Cheesley's daughter, Rachel, who is said to be a great beauty, was married to James Erskine. Erskine was Lord Justice Clerk as Lord Grange and Lord of Justiciary. He was also the brother of John, 6th Earl of Mar, leader of the 1715 Jacobite Rising. Rachel, Lady Grange, and Erskine had several children, but it is believed that she flew into rages, and they seem to have fallen out. When she discovered his Jacobite plotting in 1732, when she discovered his Jacobite plotting in 1732, James had Rachel imprisoned, first in central Scotland and then in the Western Isles by Jacobite friends. After years of poor treatment, Rachel is thought to have died on Skye in 1745, which is 5:45, and to be buried at Trumpen. Also see that entry. Just says view from exterior website, and that's it. Trumpen, not that Trumpen. Anyway, cheers, me biz. What are we up to? 25 minutes. Oh, I think we'll balance this out nicely tonight. So slange me by everybody. Oh, how have I got a sticky beer mat here? I cleaned this before we did ghost stories tonight. In fact, I'm just going to clean it again. What you doing Friday night? I don't know. I watched a confused man from Dudley bang on about his sticky beer mat. Cheers. Right. Let's soldier on. Dowry House, Edinburgh. Dowry House is we just read that one. God, duh. Dalswinton Castle, not Dalewinton Castle. Dalswinton Castle. Little remains of Dalswinton Castle, once a strong and fine fortress, except some of the basement and the remains of a round tower. The lands belonged to the Comyns and then to the Stuarts, and the castle changed hands between the Scots and the English. The lands later passed to the Maxwells, and the old stronghold was replaced by the nearby elegant mansion of Dalswinton House, which dates from 1785 and was built for the Miller family. The house is still occupied and the gardens are occasionally open to the public. Dalswinton, when it was held by the Maxwells, was said to have had a brownie who could perform the work of 10 men and would often keep servants awake at night because of his exertions. This brownie also helped in finding the daughter of this brownie also helped in finding the daughter of the house a suitable husband, and was described as a wrinkled ancient old man. I think they mean the brownie, not the husband. From what he presumed, a wrinkled ancient. And was described as a wrinkled ancient old man. An overzealous Presbyterian minister, however, decided to convert the brownie from what he presumed were its heathen ways, and in doing so poured baptismal water over the brownie's head. The story goes that the brownie gave out a huge cry and left Dalswinton forever. Gardens occasionally open as part of Scotland's garden scheme. Telephone number and website address. I'm not kidding. The place is called Dalswinton. There we have to see if I can. There we go. Can we see that? Sorry, I've got to try and get the. There we go. Dalswinton Castle, but I want to keep calling it Dalewinton Castle. Talking of whom, I get the. Oh my goodness me! I was just going to say, I had the horrible feeling that Dalewinton was no longer with us. Goodness me, he's been no longer with us for nearly a decade. 8 years ago. I'm just having a read here. Oh, that's tragic, that is. Dale had a lot of things going wrong. He had pain with arthritis. He had a heart complaint. He had a chest infection. And we all know how the winter affected that. He had asthma as well. The coroner concluded that Winton died of natural causes. I had the funny feeling that we'd lost Dalewinton, but I wasn't going to say anything. But yeah, that's quite tragic. We got a message here from B&M Top 2. I'll grab you some on my next trip. Guaranteed to meet up then. Right, what are we up to? We have just punched through the 30-minute mark. So Dalewinton Castle. What to report? We've got nothing to report on, really. No, the last few days have just been solid work, which I'm not complaining about. Once I get into the zone of doing artwork, that's it. Got Radio 3 on. I've got tea coming out of the teapot. Honestly, it's as the great Garrison Keillor once put it about the people of Lake Wobegon drinking so much coffee, and I can relate to this from drinking so much tea, that all you are doing throughout the day is carrying liquid from one room to another. But anyway, so yeah. So I'm in the middle of a massive artwork project at the moment. I'm also in the middle of trying to sort out why Adobe Creative Cloud won't load Futura. Oh God, the beer burps at 32 minutes and 27 seconds. Why Adobe Creative Cloud won't load Futura PT Demi as a font. It's so frustrating. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to hopefully tomorrow, fingers crossed, we'll be do a bit of work in the morning, then some workshop time in the afternoon for the Six Nations Rugby, and then workshop time in the evening for Opera on 3. So, and that's the other thing, is some of my friends have said to me, where has this love of opera come from? Well, it's come from this mainly, and also the fact that when I was discharged Chex Notes 3 years ago, still doesn't seem possible, the one thing I really couldn't stand was the news and current affairs. I just found it messed with my head too much. So I stopped listening to, I've mostly stopped listening to Radio 5, started listening to Radio 3, who mercifully only ever have short news bulletins. But yeah, I love Radio 3. What have I discovered through Radio 3? The music of Max Richter. Goodness me. It was this afternoon. It was, goodness me. I'm trying to think what his name is now. I'm going to have to look it up. It's his 5th symphony. Sibelius. His 5th symphony, which has the Adagiato, which is just one of the most supreme pieces of music imaginable. Yeah, discovered so much brilliant music, and I feel better for it, quite frankly. So, sorry, I'm biting my nails again. So yeah, so leaving out the news and current affairs and the old classical music. Gone a bit Terry Wogan there. The old classical music. But that's it. That's as much of a half time I can give you tonight. Just having a think. Now, we covered the 2 Reg walk last week. The 2 Regs will be going down to Lidl on Sunday to get some of their walking gear. So yeah, looking forward to that. But no, hopefully a Saturday in the workshop and listening to the rugby/football/opera. Living the high life, folks. Anyway, cheers, me beers. Oh, delicious. Slange. Deliciouser. So what's next up on the beers? It's the Harry Potter sounding Patronus. Although I am fairly sure, as I've said on the show before, that the consumption of alcohol was probably not on the syllabus at Hogwarts. But you never know. Goodness me. So what does it say? Wheat beer, allergy advice. That's it. Contains barley, gluten, and wheat. Best before, blah, blah, blah. Store in a cool, dry place. My record collection, I think. What is it? 5%? Yeah, 5% volume of alcohol. So Great stuff, though. I absolutely love it. But it's very foamy, as you can see in the magnificent Rush beer glass. So we're going to wait for that to calm down a bit. What are we looking at? Right. Let's crack on. Ba-ba-ba-bum-ba-bum. We've done Dale Winton House. Dial House. So Dalzell, not Dalzell House, Dial House, as in Dial and Pascoe. He's gone as well, isn't he? Warren Mitchell. Was it what? No, Warren Clark. He's gone. Let me just. Gonna have to look that up. Bear with. Yeah, Dial and Pascoe is a British television crime drama. It's different spelling from the one we've got here. With Warren Clark, 2014, 12 years ago. Oh my goodness me. And he was in The Clockwork Orange. And he was in Hawk the Slayer, I do believe, which I am going to watch at some stage. Anyway, Dial House. Standing on the edge of a rocky ravine, Dial House, other spellings can be Dial or Dial. There we go. Incorporates an old castle in the large, rambling mansion. The property belonged to the Dial Earls of Carnforth from the 13th century, but was sold to the Hamiltons of Boggs in 1649, which is 11 minutes to 5. Covenanters were sheltered in the grounds and held illegal conventicles under a huge oak tree, now known as the Covenanters' Oak. The north wing of the house was used as a hospital during World War I. The house is said to be haunted by 4 ghosts: green, white, grey, and brown ladies. Sightings of the Green Lady have been reported in the Piper's Gallery, and other manifestations include unexplained flashing lights, footsteps, and other noises. The strong smell of exotic perfume has also been recorded, and this is said to presage an appearance of this ghost. So they've got here, and this is said to presage or presage a appearance of this ghost. Should be an appearance, because we're linking to a word beginning with a vowel. I think it should be an appearance. Anyway, the White Lady is thought to be the ghost of a young female servant. Although unmarried, she became pregnant and in despair threw herself to her death from the battlements. Her ghost is reputed to be seen at the spot from where she jumped. The Grey Lady, it was said to haunt the north wing and to originate from when the house was used as a hospital. Her apparition is believed to be seen wearing a grey nurse's uniform. The Brown Lady is claimed to have been spotted in the former nursery. Dial Park open daily, dawn to dusk. Dial House not open. Telephone number, website. Oh my goodness me, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you. I's gut hungry. What have I eaten today? A Freddy chocolate bar. Actually, I had some protein bars this morning, half a banana, and a Freddy chocolate bar. So yeah, I's gut hungry. So cheers, me beers. Oh, that Patronus is absolutely glorious beer. Oh, we're not quite dead soldiered yet, but oh, it's fabulous. Oh, I think we are going to have to top up the scotch. Oh, what are we watching on TV tonight? If you're wondering where Derp is, Derp's in the bedroom, but he's on the ottoman because the ottoman is right by the radiator, and the radiators, up until 20 minutes ago, were on. I have the heating on for about 2 hours in the morning, about 2 hours at night. Anything beyond that, I'd be bankrupted. So, thank you, Tories. But yeah. Got the beer burps again. Do apologise. Oh. Right. Oh, come on. Get the burps out. Dan Keith House. Dan Keith House, dating from the 19th century, is a large, imposing edifice, although it is not in a good state of repair. The present building replaced an earlier house or castle. The property was held by the Archibalds and then by the Kelso family from 1693 until 1865. Dan Keith was completely rebuilt after a fire and was later used as the headquarters for the Royal Air Force, a borstal, a seminary, and then as a girls' school. There is a static caravan park in the grounds. The building is said to be haunted, and there have reputedly recently been several sightings of unexplained manifestations, some of which have been captured on camera. A paranormal investigation was undertaken in September 2005 by Alba Paranormal Investigations. Website address, blah, blah, blah. Oh, we got some more photos here. Right. Let's have a beer, shall we? Slange. Oh, we've got some fan mail as well. Oh, this Patronus is absolutely lovely. And it's only $1.39 a bottle. And oh my goodness me, what has decided to join us from the Ottoman? It's his royal derpy lurpiness. Coming up. Come on. You are holding up the show, Derps. Come on. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Come on, look. You've got plenty of space. There we go. There we go. I was going to say, you've got plenty of space to get up there. Goodness me, you are a fatty cat these days. I know you were a bit underweight the last time we were at the vets. Oh, in fact, you are due. I do declare you are due your worming tablet or flea tablet, one or the other. So yes, we'll sort that out for you. So here we go. David Livingstone Castle, Blantyre. Set in 20 acres of parkland and woodland garden, the David Livingstone Centre is located in the tenement where Livingstone was born, and there are displays on Scotland's greatest missionary explorer. Bye, Derps. Dr. Livingstone, I presume. The centre is said to be haunted. The bogle, identified by some as that of Livingstone and known as Old Davy, although no apparition has apparently been spotted. Activity is reputed to include objects disappearing and then reappearing a long time later in the place from which they had originally vanished. National Trust of Scotland opened April 24th of December daily. Telephone to check, phone number and website. Right. Where Derp, look away now if you're slightly squeamish, but where Derp has just jumped across my thumb there, can you see that? Look. Luckily, we've got medical wipes here, but oh my goodness me, Derp, we will continue to administer the medical alcohol wipes. It's dangerous stuff doing these ghost stories, isn't it, Derps? Cheers, me beers. Slange. Nope. Them's still bleeding. So Dean Castle, standing in acres of parkland. Dean Castle dates from the 14th century or earlier and was long a property of the Boyd Earls of Kilmarnock. Robert Boyd was guardian of James III and for a time very powerful in Scotland. He fell from favour and had to flee abroad while his brother was executed. William Boyd, 4th Earl, was Privy Councillor to Bonnie Prince Charlie during the Jacobite Rising of 1745 to 46, and the ghost story relates to him. Well before the Rising, servants were terrified by an apparition of Boyd's severed head rolling about the floor at Dean. When Boyd joined the Jacobite Rising, he told the Earl of Galloway about the haunting. Boyd was a colonel in the Prince's Guard, but was captured after the Battle of Culloden in 1746 and, as predicted by the apparition, executed by beheading. Boyd's wife, Annie Livingston, no, not the Radio 1 DJ, died the following year and is said to haunt Howard Park further south in Kilmarnock at the site of the demolished Kilmarnock House. See that entry. Open all year, April to September daily, November to end of March, Wednesdays to Sunday, park open all year, telephone number, website. Goodness me, Derp, how can you honestly, this looks like a war zone here. I mean, okay, these are screen wipes, but they've still got alcohol in them. Anyway, Dean's Court, St. Andrew. Dean's Court, ooh, painful. Dean's Court, St. Andrews. Standing opposite the western end of the ruinous cathedral, Dean's Court is a large building of 3 stories with a courtyard and well, and dates from the 16th or earlier, perhaps the 12th century, making it one of the oldest houses in St. Andrews. That doesn't make sense. That should read, and dates from the 16th century or earlier, perhaps the 12th century, making it one of the oldest houses in St. Andrews. After the Reformation, Dean's Court was held by Sir George Douglas, who was one of those, not in that sense, who was one of those who helped Mary, Queen of Scots, escape from Lochleven Castle. See that entry. In 1568. In the 17th century, the building was owned by Sir James Gregory, an eminent astronomer and mathematician and professor of mathematics from 1668 to 1674. In 1930, Dean's Court passed to the University of St. Andrews, and it has been used as a hall of residence for postgraduates since 1952. Dean's Court is said to be haunted by at least 2 ghosts. One, a white lady, is believed to be the same ghost that haunts the cathedral and other parts of St. Andrews. Also see St. Andrews Cathedral and Castle. The other is the spirit. The other is the spirit. Right. Yet again, this doesn't make sense. The other is the spirit is that of a black three-legged dog, which is also reputed to have been spotted in the graveyard of the cathedral. Right. The other is the spirit of a black three-legged dog, which is also reputed to have been spotted in the graveyard of the cathedral. I hate having to proofread stories as I'm going along, but tonight I've had to do that because proofreading of this book is not brilliant. Also, where Derp has ran across me, he hasn't done anything malicious, but still bleeding. Goodness me. So what we're going to do is we're going to get one of these alcohol wipes. We're just going to plop it on there like that. And we're just going to let it sink in. And Derp's down on the floor at the moment. Are you looking contrite? No, you're looking like you're enjoying the heat from the fire. So what are we up to? 53 minutes. Goodness me, ladies and gentlemen. So cheers, me beers. Oh, slange. Oh, we've just topped up the beer. Oh, jolly nice of you. And Dead Soldier and Run VT.
Oh, it's jolly nice of you. Hello, Dead Soldier. Seen plenty of those in my time.
Indeed. Right. I'm just going to have a look to see. I think we'll do the photographs at the end of the show. So, dear Abby. No, not dear Abby. I've got a friend called Abigail. Not dear Abigail, but dear as in dears, and Abbey as in a Cistercian house. Dear Abbey, a Cistercian house, was founded in 1219 by William Comyn, Earl of Buchan, and dedicated to the Blessed Virgin Mary. The lands passed in 1587 to Robert Keith, Lord Altry, and not much of the church remains except foundations, although the infirmary, Abbot's House, and the southern cloister range are better preserved. The University Library at Cambridge now houses the beautifully illustrated Book of Deer. The spectre of a monk has been reputedly seen on the main road that runs past the abbey. The apparition dressed in a dark robe and hood, but with a blur for a face. Historical Scotland, access at all reasonable times, telephone number and website address. Oh, a ghostly monk. Is he called Harry? We are going to have a ghostly monk called Harry at some stage, but perhaps not tonight. So I'm just trying to stem the bleeding from Derp's charge across my hand tonight. What are we up to? 55 minutes, not quite the hour mark, but slange. Oh, we got some fan mail. Cheers, me beers. Just puts bookmark back in book. Yeah, I think we'll go down to B&M and we'll get friend Jackie some cows. So my friend Jackie, I got two friends called Jackie, but my local friend called Jackie, she loves cows. She loves Highland cows. Me, I love Japanese giant monsters. So, obvs. But yeah, so I'm going to get her some cows. Right. Delgatti Castle. Set in a fine location, Delgatti Castle is an ancient and interesting pile with walls up to 14 foot thick in places. The main tower rises to more than 60 foot, and there a fine original painted ceilings of the 16th century and a massive turnpike stair. That doesn't even make sense. There should be, and there is a fine original painted ceiling of the 16th century and a massive turnpike stair. Anyway, the lands were given to the Hayes by Robert the Bruce in the 14th century, and they held them for some 350 years. Oh, the beer burps again. Do apologise. The Hayes were made Earls of Errol in 1452, and Francis, the ninth Earl, was accused of treason. In 1594, and part of the West Wall was demolished by James the Sixth forces. The castle had to be sold in 1762. And was occupied by the army during World War II. It was then left uninhabited until bought back by the Hayes, who began the task of restoration. It is said that Dalgety is haunted by the ghost of a spirited young woman known as Rohayes. She is thought to have defended the castle from an attack and reputedly haunts the bedroom off the main stair, which now bears her name. It is said she likes to visit men who stay in the chamber. The ghost could be quite frightening, it appears, at least in the imagination. The troops stationed here during the war twice fled outdoors following unexplained disturbances, although a search of the building found nothing untoward. Open all year daily, closed 21st of December to the 6th of January. Telephone number, website. Oh my goodness me, Derbs. Right, I think we've managed to stop bleeding now, thanks to my psychotic cat. My psychotic cat, who is now, I don't know if you can see him there. There he is there. Sat down there in front of the fire. What are we up to? 59 minutes and 54 seconds. We are coming towards the end of the night. So, and in fact, we've just bumped through the hour mark. So, slash me for everybody. Delgatti Castle. No, I read that one. Devonor House, Aberdeen. So you're probably thinking, how do you not know you've read that story already? I've had a beer and a bump, folks. But anyway, Devonor House, Aberdeen, named after a Roman camp believed to be at the mouth of the Denburn. Devonor is a small mansion of 2 stories built in 1813 for William Black, but later remodeled. Black was a brewer and became famous for his Devonor porter. Oh, I have to get some of that. The once extensive grounds were broken up in the late 19th century, and the house has been divided into separate apartments. The house is said to be haunted by the apparition of a woman, although only the upper part of her body is reputedly seen. This may be because of a change in floor levels rather than because of a change in floor levels rather than because of dismemberment. Blah, blah, blah. That's all we have to say about that one. Cheers, me beers. Slange. Do you know what? So I've gone a bit Michael Caine there for a minute. Do you know what? I think we'll get to the bottom of page 106 and that'll be it. So, Dibbidil Bothy rum. Although not one of the largest of the Western Isles, rum is one of the most impressive, with rugged mountains rising to more than 2,500 foot. It should be feet. Once home to more than 400 people, there are now only some 25 residents. On the island is the impressive but slightly incongruous Kinloch Castle, a large Edwardian mansion which was built by the Bullough family after they had purchased the island in the 1880s. On the southeast side of Rum at Dibbidil and reached along a rough track is a bothy. This is said to be haunted by the bogle of a fisherman who wakes sleepers by sitting on their legs and preventing them from moving before it disappears through a walled up doorway. No, nothing more to report on that one. Last dirt for tonight. So cheers, me beers. Oh, in the magnificent United Federation of Planet Shot Glass, from again viewers Kirsten and Steve in the United States. Cheers, me beers. Oh, what the hell? It's going to be a 3 bumper tonight, so Dick Montlaw Farm. The sound of pipe music is reputedly to be heard at times coming from the hearth of Dick Montlaw Farm. The story goes that a piper called Tam Tyree, his wife, and his dog took refuge in a cave by the sea, more than 1.5 miles away from the farm. Tam found an opening in the back of the cave, and they went to investigate but got lost in the dark, and his spirit is said to still be trying to find a way out, playing the pipes as it wanders the subterranean passageways. It has been suggested that this was a story put about to dissuade people from frequenting the caves, which are believed to have been used for smuggling at one time. It has been suggested that this was a story put about to dissuade people from frequenting the caves, which are believed to have been used for smuggling at one time. I was just going to say smuggling, folks. Oh my goodness me. Last for tonight. So cheers, me beers. Slange. Oh, cheers, me beers. So next time we pick up on page 107, Discovery Point, Dundee. Discovery Point is the home of RRS Discovery. Captain Scott's sorry, again. Discovery Point is the home of RRS Discovery, Captain Scott's Antarctic ship. Within the complex are 8 exhibition areas, using lighting, graphics, and special effects to recreate key moments in the Discovery's history. The ship has been extensively restored below deck. Discovery is said to be haunted by unexplained footsteps on deck and other disturbances. Suggested identities for the ghost include Ernest Shackleton or Charles Bonner, one of the crew, who fell from the Crow's Nest to his death in 1901. Open all year, daily, closed 25th to 26th of December and 1st to 2nd of January. Telephone number and website. Featured in Living TV's Most Haunted, Series 8, 2006, which is 20 years ago, boys and girls. Right, that's it for tonight, folks. We are going to be catching up on Sunday for, believe it or not, Sunday Night Ghost Stories on a Sunday. So cheers, me beers. Or slange. We have given a shout out to the Magnificent Rush beer glass. The Magnificent Rush shot glass to viewers Kirsten and Steve in the United States. But we're going to do it again. So thank you, Kirsten and Steve. Cheers, me beers. That's it for tonight, folks. We are going to go downstairs and have some supper and watch some Family Guy or South Park, depending on how we feel tonight. But until the next time, it behoves me to say thank you for watching. Why? Why not? What else are you going to do on a Friday night than watch a confused man from Dudley with holes in his head, drink ghost stories, and read alcohol? So until the next time, as ever, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay out of trouble, and please don't have nightmares. Good night.